So, hey, what's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Tyrone Jones here with the Construction Entrepreneur School and Services. And I want to talk to you guys about the question we always get hit up about. And that's, what's your square footage? Before you can walk on the job and just get this question all the time. And it'll come right away, right? How much do you normally charge for this work here? Right? And a lot of times we don't even have enough information about this job to really even give an answer to that, right? But also too, majority of the times when we do hear this, in the back of our head, we know that, hey, you're going to use this number against me when I finally send you my number, you know? And they always say, hey, I'm not going to use this number against you. I just want to know what the number is. And I just had this situation on the job site, visiting the client, and they want me to get some work done. And the project manager is just constantly just asking me, how much is this? Well, how much would this be? Well, what about this? How much would you charge for this? And sometimes I think customer thinks that this is just some type of HGTV type project where on those shows you always see them where the contractor is just walking around with them and the contractor they're talking to a contractor and it's like, yeah, hey, we got to redo this kitchen here. Well, how much is to redo this kitchen? And contractor like automatically is like, oh yeah, this kitchen would be $10,500. And it was like, oh wow, are you sure? Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. They walked to the next section and it was like, yeah, well, I want this outdoor kitchen here. And he was like, yeah, well, that'll be 22,700. He was like, oh, whew, I don't know if we want to spend that much. But so it's not it's not that type of deal here. Now, if you have if you meet in a certain standard on the type of work that you're doing to where you're doing doors or you're doing windows of some sort, you're doing flooring of some kind, you can give a basic square footage price, either for the total job or just the labor cost for that job or the material cost. But you have to be careful because there's so many variables for each different project. Okay. Now, one project I can do with concrete that'll be $4 a square foot, and there'll be another project down the street from it that I'll be charging $7 a square foot. Okay, why? There's different elements that I have to consider when doing that particular project. One, I may have a labor intense type task where I have to wheelbarrow. Another one, I may be able to knock down a wall and get some equipment back there, which cuts down my labor time considerably. So there's different factors when doing these prices or doing these jobs when calculating prices. So it's not always wise to give a price on the spot or give I don't even know what we would call it, maybe a plug price. I had a project manager drill me about giving a price, and I just gave him a number out. I was like, hey, $14, and he was like, whoa, that is too much money. And I looked at him and said, I thought you wasn't going to use that number. Seems like you're using it towards something. And he was like, well, I'm just the market. I was like, what is the market? And what are you using to determine what the market is? You know? And a lot of people are using the market as basically what they have dealt with. The jobs, the experience that they had in front of them. Um, and in that particular area. Now there is a basically how much something will cost. Every contractor that's bidding, legitimately on this project should come close to each other as long as the scope of work is similar and everyone kind of basically understand the scope of work to the T, and everybody has the same impression, right? But it's all about production. Your production is your production, plain and simple. and your square footage may not meet the industry standard. It could be lower. Maybe you found a way to get it lower, or maybe you're having some challenges with it, and you're finding a way to cut in some other areas because your production is higher in maybe in placing things or building or getting the materials delivered. So when dealing with customers always drilling you about square footage prices, I'll definitely be careful with always giving that price up front, especially with in the homeowner sector and sector of work. That price will be definitely used against you when you submit your actual proposal. Guarantee you. In the commercial sector of work, that I have seen instances where literally I didn't get a call back because I gave such a high number on the spot for a job, and literally was told that it wasn't going to be held against me before I gave it because they see my hesitation. And when I called, I was like, "Hey, what happened here?" It was like, "Oh, that person gave a lower number." I was like, what do you mean gave a lower number? Yeah, that square footage price that you gave us. Wait a minute. You told me that wasn't being used against me. Like, listen, sir, I'm sorry, man. It wasn't me that had to make that decision. But you said it was you that makes all the decisions. So, people find a way to weasel out there. So, giving a number on the spot doesn't always work for you, and sometimes it will work for you. But you have to be careful because when bidding on these particular projects, you if you don't have all the details totally where you understand all these details and the variables, the challenges that you may have to face on this, you can actually shoot yourself in the foot. My motto, what I do is I normally do not give a price on the spot. I would never give a price on the spot. I avoid at all costs. I just say, hey, I don't want to give a price because I still need to investigate this a little bit to put all these details together, and I want to give you the best price on paper to you so you can actually see what I'm going to actually charge you instead of giving you something that I can guesstimate on here on the spot without even having all these details. And I'll just really deflect that question. Um, and avoid that because there's a reason why someone's asking you that. So definitely going out to these job sites, you want to I feel you want to avoid giving that square footage or that linear footage number. Now let's talk about using a square footage number in your or to formulate your estimate, right? I do that all the time. For instance, let's say recently I bid on 7 foundations, right? It is for this affordable housing, right? There's a company in Bakersfield that does affordable housing. And by the way, so this breakdown and estimate will be in our membership side of the channel where I actually break down this estimate and show you how I actually bid on this estimate, how I'm doing my numbers, how I submitted the numbers, how I fill out the paperwork. All that is on the advanced contractor membership page, the contractors entrepreneurs membership page. It's $9.99 for that membership, so you get a little bit more in depth in these projects that I'm talking about. Okay, so I did 7 foundations. Right now, with that 7 foundations, they were all the same square footage. They were like 2,077 square foot for each foundation. So literally, what I did is I bid it on the foundation. I did one, and I used that square footage and just multiplied by the other slabs there because it's basically the same work. So I took that and I had a square footage, so I multiplied that, and that gave me the number for all those other slabs. And that's what you want to do. That's simple, easy, to the point, and it makes sense, right? And that way you don't have to keep bidding on the same type of work or same type of work that's similar, even if it's slightly different, even if it's or let me give you this example. So on this same project, I had some site work where there's sidewalks leading to get into the homes, right? There's sidewalks, walkways to get to the front, to the back, in between the houses. So I took the biggest site, and I found out how much it would cost to do that site, and I divided that down to a square footage price, and I took that and then I just actually times that by the square footages on the other sites, and that's how I got my number. Even though it was configured a little bit differently, I just used that square footage to calculate what my price would be for those other sites. So I do use square footage pricing on my estimates all the time. It makes my life a lot easier. But actually giving an estimate before I actually giving a square footage price before I actually do an estimate, dangerous grounds. So you want to try to avoid that as best as possible. My construction entrepreneurs, let me know what you have learned from this. If you got some better tactics or better ideas or even better responses, or you feel that the information I wasn't sharing is not correct, go ahead and leave me comment down in the comment section. Let me know. Let me know how you guys feel. Let me know if there's a better way that you're doing this, and let me know if there's some better options out there as well, or that I'm just shooting the crap. Okay, and all comments are welcome. It doesn't matter how you lay it out or how you express yourself. I want you to get it out so we can actually, converse about that. So, hey, my construction entrepreneurs, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.